Talk to me, talk to me. Good morning, friends. Happy December. It is Monday, December 1st, and I think it's so awesome that we are starting a new month on a Monday. So I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good, despite me, honestly, usually hating Mondays. I want to apologize really quick. One, I got the dog playing at my feet, so I apologize if there's noise. But two, I also apologize that I am filming on my iPhone 16 just for today. I forgot my G7X at my in-laws' house, so Jamie's gonna pick that up tonight for me. With that being said, it's a new month. It is the final month of the year. It's winter. It is very much winter. Quick little life update is that I am not going into the office, and honestly, I have not been in office for the last month now. So essentially, my office is on the very top floor of a building, and building management came in, I think last month, and they basically said, hey, we're getting a whole new roof. So yeah, don't know when I'm going back to the office, which I'm actually really grateful for because I get to be home during the holiday season and I've really got to be home all month. Anyways, because I have so much free time on my hands now and I'll be working from home, I will say I do feel the effects more of the daylight saving times, especially because I'm out of routine now. I wanted to dedicate a vlog on how I'm kind of beating winter blues and how I'm not letting myself get into anxious thoughts. I do find that when I stay home a lot and work from home, like even if I'm working from home or being busy, I am more susceptible to getting anxious thoughts. And so now that I'm home so much and it gets dark at 4 p.m., yeah, I kind of wanted to show you guys what are some of my hobbies and my routines that I do to help keep myself busy during a very cold and dark time. I hope this video helps or inspires some of you, motivates some of you as well, because yeah, I know the Canadian winters are definitely not for the weak. I do actually really love winter season. When we get into the later winter months, I snowboard, so winter is actually pretty exciting for me. I think it's really important in winter to continue your hobbies, start new hobbies, look for crafts. It's really a time to hone in on yourself and just find new ways to be inspired and creative. And honestly, I know when people hear hobbies, especially nowadays, people can say that hobbies are expensive or, you know, doing things are expensive. But let me tell you, they don't have to be expensive and they can be free or they can be under $50. They could even be under $20. So yes, I hope this video kind of sparks new interest or motivates you. And yeah, okay, let's get into the video. This is a Toronto outfit. Super puff, Solomon's, and a Trader Joe's bag. But hey, it's functional, it's practical, it keeps you warm, it works. This is honestly the best grocery bag. It has nothing to do with the fact that it's Trader Joe's, but genuinely it fits so much, and you can, if you're one person, you could fit all your groceries here, at least for a few days, you know? So on my way to the dollar store, because I need to buy a frame, and then grocery. Second coffee of the day. It's been one of those. We are now back from the grocery store, the dollar store, and the gym. I think most people would complain that they have to walk out and, you know, get to the grocery, or they have to walk to their nearest dollar store. But as someone who grew up in the suburbs and just moved to the city and still has a car, may I just say that I love being walking distance from all of my basic necessity stores like the grocery or the dollar store, Lickbo, Starbucks. Honestly, in the suburbs, one, you deal with just a lot more snow. So it's just such a hassle to drive in the winter, from cleaning your car, cleaning your driveway, and then warming up the car and yada, yada, yada. I lived at a corner house, okay? So it was not fun shoveling all of that. I actually found myself just not doing things for myself because I didn't want to drive anywhere. Whereas in the city, not only is it warmer, so you don't get as much snow, but it's so nice knowing that I can just, one, get exercise in and fresh air while on my grocery haul. So after I got back from the gym, I showered, I changed, I had a few work meetings, and then I started to have a little arts and crafts evening for myself. And now that it's winter, this is a time when we're spending a lot more time inside. I feel like winter is the best time to really bring in personality into your space and to rearrange things in your home to make it feel extra homey. Now, I'm not saying go and buy new furniture. Okay, don't have to spend money on that. I'm not saying you have to buy the most expensive frame and the most expensive paints and the most expensive materials, yada, yada, yada. What I'm saying is utilize what you already have. Now, for my husband and I, we moved into this condo back in May. And of course, with, the bachelor and bachelorette trips and then with the wedding, it was not our financial priority to spend money on artwork or, getting furniture outside of the basic needs. Now, I am really happy with the foundation that we have built for ourselves in this condo, but what has really been missing from the space is artwork and memories. And thankfully, of course, my wedding just ended. So I feel like I have a lot of things I want to frame and showcase in the condo. If you didn't have a wedding or you didn't have a big event in your life, I'm sure you have a collection of just keepsakes from over the years, whether that's plane tickets, whether that's bus tickets, pictures with friends and family that you can take during the winter time and make some fun artwork. Now, for this specific segment, I'm focusing on framed artwork, but something I also love doing is scrapbooking. And I'll insert some clips of some scrapbooks that I've done over the years. And scrapbooking and junk journaling is something I do all year round, but I find that I'm most creative with it during the winter seasons when I'm spending so much time inside. I've already done 2 frames this afternoon, and honestly, these don't need to take long. I think, take as much time as you need. They could take a few days, they could take a couple of hours, they can take 20 minutes. The first one I'm about to show you is just a little keepsake and memory that I now have on the shelf in front of me. And it's just a simple little frame from the wedding. I just wanted to showcase some of the photo booth pictures that we took with family and friends. And I bought this scrap piece of paper from the dollar store, and I chose burgundy because the colors of our wedding were burgundy and emerald, so it was perfect. And this frame was $13 from IKEA that I bought last month. So this is such a great way to personalize your space. It adds color. I find that if you are blessed to have really great people in your life and really great memories, showcase that in your home. Like, I think it's such a good conversation starter, a good story time, and why not show off your beautiful, wonderful life in your own space? Okay, the next thing I did is, I'd say it's free, but like, the florals at my wedding were not cheap. With that being said, I guess the act of flower pressing is free. You don't need to get it professionally done. A bunch of TikToks online and YouTube videos on how to flower press. For me, my mom flower pressed my flowers. We kept some centerpieces. I unfortunately forgot the bouquet at the hotel. So this is not my bouquet, but just pieces of flowers from all of the floral arrangements that we took home. And okay, we're not going to hate because this is not perfect. My mom and I didn't really know what we were doing, but these are good enough for me. And as long as the flowers were flat and not molding, I am happy. This is the little piece of artwork that I did. It was so easy. And again, it just brings in some color. I have it on my vanity in our bedroom with all of my other things. It's just such a happy keepsake. And I smile every time I look at it. And this frame, this double glass frame, was actually just from the dollar store and it was $3. So again, you don't need to spend a lot of money to make something beautiful. And please don't hate. Okay. I know it's not perfect. I may play around with this, but anyways. And the last piece of framed artwork that I want to do today is my husband and I's vows. Now, we did not write our vows on our phones, or we didn't read off of them on our phones. And I highly recommend, please, if you're having a wedding or elopement, do not read your vows off of your phone. I mean, if you have to, that's fine. But if you do have a photographer there or you are getting pictures done, I highly recommend buying handmade paper. This was from Amazon. A full pack was $8 to $15. It's beautiful to write on and it makes a beautiful keepsake. So I will kind of show you what I'm working with here, but the frame that I'm using is again from IKEA. And then this poster board is just from Michael's. And here's what we're working with. So as you can see, we have the handmade paper, and then these pieces of lace are actually from my sleeves. I did cut up the sleeves, which honestly was a little painful because, long story short, my mom ended up making my sleeves for my wedding. sewing is my mom's passion. So she did this in like maybe an hour, but it still kind of hurt cutting them up. But the lace applique was custom made in Italy, and I wanted to keep it and showcase it. I just didn't want them in a memory box forever. So I added it with the vows, and I think it's so beautiful. I'm still playing around with the lace, and that's what I'm going to do this afternoon. And then I will show you the final product, but I want to put this over our bed in the bedroom. So this is already turning out so beautiful. I'm really happy with it so far. And then I'm probably just going to use a glue gun. So yeah, that's been my arts and craft afternoon. And now I'm so happy because there's a lot more color in the home, and just our memories are up now. Been keeping me busy, and crafts is something, again, I like doing all winter. And of course, eventually I may run out of space to do framed work. And that's when I transition back to my scrapbooks and my junk journaling, which again, I will insert some clips of. All right, so these are the 3 little scrapbooks and albums that I'm working on right now, or that I have been working on for the last, I guess, year and a half now. So this first one is more of a classic album. It's a linen cover, and I bought this last year after our trip for Asia. Even though it's a traditional album, I'm using it more of a scrapbook because I included stuff like some tickets to museums, plane tickets, tags, and obviously I included all of our pictures. This is when we were in the Philippines and Korea. And then eventually it kind of just turned into an album of like last year. So I have some of like my bridesmaids events that we did. And then I have when we were, we did a little like tiny cabin up north here in Ontario. And then I have pictures of our engagement trip when we were in Banff. So I'm working on this, and I intentionally left some pages at the end because of course I knew I wanted to end this album with wedding pictures because these were from our engagement. The next few pages are blank. Pictures that I want to include in here are some of the disposable pictures that we took. We did have 2 disposable cameras for our bridal party, and they took pictures and they came out beautiful, especially with the fall colors. So I want to include some of those, and then I want to include some extra photo strips from the wedding with all of our guests. And then we are still choosing the professional wedding photos. There's over 1,200, guys. So it's gonna take us a while, but I know I want to include those in here. This one is a really fun one. This is my life junk journal. So these are just stickers I've collected over the years. I have no creative direction when it comes to this book. It's literally a junk journal for a reason. So I just have things from like work events. I have letters from friends. This is when I bought my Tesla. I have birthday cards in here, but I literally just have everything and I have no creative direction. I have things in here from over 10 years ago. This is a birthday card that my husband wrote me in 2018, for example. And guys, this is a really cool one. Okay, I don't want to open it right now, but this is a napkin that I was given when I was serving back at Joey's in, I don't even know what year, maybe 2018. I was really young, but I was serving 2 numerologists and we just got into conversation and they basically mapped out my whole life based on my name. It was really cool. And it is, I completely forgot about this napkin until I was moving out and found it again. And it is actually terrifying how on point they were. And then the last one, this is a book or album that was given to me by my bridesmaids, and they all included pictures and letters to me and just all of our memories. It was so sweet. And they also left the blank, they also intentionally left blank pages because they of course knew that we were going on the bachelorette and the wedding, and so I have to get those pictures printed from the bachelorette and the wedding. These are gonna kind of be like my winter projects, and I'm so excited, and I highly recommend everyone start one in life, whether that's a junk journal or start albuming or start scrapbooking. It's so rewarding and it's so wonderful to look back on, like truly. mess in the back, just drying a bunch of dishes. But I'm gonna leave the house because I have to go to my office to pick up a new laptop. And I'm not gonna lie, guys, as an ambivert and also a big homebody, in the winter, honestly sometimes even in the summer, but specifically in the winter, I will easily not leave the house for days if I don't have to. But because I have an excuse to leave the house, I'm just gonna make a day out of it. I'm already out of the house, I'm paying the transit fare, I might as well get some fresh air, and yeah, it's a good excuse to get my steps in, get a little bit of vitamin D even though there's no sun out. Thank you, winter. Okay, and I think it's really important that we honestly, I know it feels forced, but I feel like it's important for us to force ourselves out of the house for fresh air, for some sun, for some steps in the winter. Lack of vitamin D is actually a really big health issue amongst Canadians. So if you're not taking your vitamins as well, so take your vitamins, get your walks, get your steps, and let's not be miserable this winter.